Breaking news as we come on the air on the eve of the vote in the House whether to impeach President Trump for a second time. Just in tonight, the key Republican who will vote to impeach. After the horror that played out at the Capitol tonight, President Trump's first time in front of the cameras, taking no responsibility, defending what he said to his supporters. After telling them to march to the Capitol, "I'll be there with you," and that you have to be strong and have to fight like hell. Tonight, calling those words, quote, totally appropriate. And this evening, growing calls for impeachment. We have just learned Republican Liz Cheney says she will vote to impeach, saying there has never been a greater betrayal by a president of the United States of his office and of his oath to the Constitution, saying none of this would have happened without the president. And tonight, new reporting here on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Are some Republicans now moving on impeachment? What our team has learned, John Carl standing by live. Also tonight, the other major headline, the warning the day before the deadly riot at the Capitol. The FBI had warned of, quote, war at the Capitol just one day before the siege. What they were picking up, the ominous chatter. News of the warning comes after federal officials had claimed there was no indication an attack was coming. What ABC News has now learned tonight about that internal warning about extremists coming to Washington to launch an assault. And tonight, what now about the inauguration amid growing threats? And across this country, law enforcement in all 50 state capitals now preparing for demonstrations. The coronavirus in this country, the race to vaccinate Americans. Only 1/3 of the 27 million doses shipped out have actually been given. So what's being done? And where do we need to be to halt the spread of the virus? Tonight, the alarming numbers on the slow rate of vaccinations. And news tonight, the CDC now expanding guidelines for vaccinations to everyone 65 and older and suggesting no holding back of those second doses. Get the vaccines out. The virus surging across the U.S. tonight. We're with the ambulances, the paramedics with patients in dire need, now being turned away at several hospitals. No more beds, no more room. And tonight, here are the images that moved us today, now emerging from the tunnels under the Capitol.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on this Tuesday night on the eve of what will be an historic vote in our nation's capital, whether to impeach President Trump for a second time. There is news coming in at this hour. There appears to be some movement among some Republicans on this. And of course, the other major headline tonight, what's now being done to protect the president-elect Joe Biden and the inauguration. As ABC News now learns of an FBI internal memo the day before those deadly riots, indicating that they had picked up threats and messages, among them some Trump supporters telling each other, "We get our president," or "Be prepared to die." President Trump speaking out for the first time since the deadly siege, expressing no regret or responsibility for the deadly attack, calling his remarks, urging the marchers to be strong, to fight like hell. He called those remarks, quote, totally appropriate. Tonight, House Democrats are moving forward a vote set for tomorrow to impeach the president for incitement of insurrection. That would make him the first president in history